All right, fellas, it's about time we talk about the elephant in the room with Seance. Okay, over the last week, over the last week of Seance's release, or I guess a few days, because released Friday, yeah. Over the last few days, people have become aware that Seance is mappable and clumped. Now, from my understanding, this is only with booster boxes, not necessarily release event decks, spell books, etc. It seems to mainly be a problem with the booster boxes itself. Here are my thoughts. So, people have been saying, yo, this is going to be, this is going to hurt Seance in the long run. I don't think so. I think ultimately, yes, it does make the booster boxes a little bit less desirable. That is true. But the product itself is top notch. I've seen the cards, holographic, like the hollows themselves look really damn good. Not going to lie. However, this kind of goes back into, you know, an issue that has plagued Metazoo for what 2 years now, which is clumping and mapping not so much. I think this is the first time we've seen mapping, but we keep having these small issues or issues in general popping up with their products, right? Now here's the thing: they're a new company, guys. So let's just start off the bat by saying, look, they're a new company. They're only 3 years old now, 2 years old. There's gonna be issues like this. Pokemon, assuming Yu-Gi-Oh and all these other companies that when they first started their TCG, they all likely had some sort of similar issues. I know Pokemon for sure had issues like that. People were able to map. I mean, Magic the Gathering, you were able to map like the entire cards in the booster boxes, if I'm not mistaken, from like beta and alpha and all that stuff. So this is nothing new. Okay, this is the growing pains of a company who is growing extremely fast, and they're using, I think, like Mike mentioned, that their printer has been growing along with them. So basically, Mike is very much a person, at least in my head. Mike seems to be a very loyal person, right? When everybody is doubting him, he tends to stick to those who have trust in him when the rest of the world tends to not, right? And that can be seen with even like Rudy, for example, from Alpha Investments. That can be seen, in my opinion, with the printer that they keep on using, because the printer has basically they were the printer they used and helped propel them into the status that Metazoo has right now, whether it's for good or for bad, right? So, and we can't deny that their printer has been getting better and better and better. There are very small quality control issues now compared to back in the day, and that's after what, a year of releases. You got to think about it this way, guys. We have what, Cryptid Nation Kickstarter, which is probably the one with the least amount of quality control. Cryptid Nation 1 had a lot of issues with shipping, right? Because again, there was a lot of them. There was 25,000 boxes. And then we had Nightfall, lots of issues with the whitening around the edges. But then with Wilderness and Cryptid Nation 2, they kind of turned a page. Starting with Cryptid Nation 2 and Wilderness, you saw the quality in cards increase quite significantly. And then once we hit UFO, and once we started hitting all these ancillary products, all these extra products that were coming into the market, we saw in my opinion, and again, you guys are more than welcome to have your own opinion, but in my opinion, a dramatic increase in quality of the card stock and the hollow pattern and the hollow techniques that were being used, right? So let me just start off with that. This is not a video to bash them. This is not a video to say, get your pitchforks, right? But it is about keeping people accountable, right? And I also understand to a certain degree, shit happens. Let's be honest, shit happens, bro. So I think the printer has been doing very well lately. They have been upping the quality on the cards, even if people want to deny it or say, oh no, they're made in China. A lot of the products that we have today are made in China, whether you want to like it or not. I mean, I get it. TCGs being made by, Cardimundi or whatever. Those tend to be like the, top of the top. And my favorite cardstock ever is actually Force of Will's cardstock. I don't remember who makes that cardstock for Force of Will, but that cardstock is A1. Figured I'd throw that out there. But anyways, yes, clumping is an issue. Yes, mapping the booster packs inside the booster boxes is an issue. There seems to be more reports of people with finding the fact that if you pull one holo out of one of the pack arts, you can basically guarantee that you will get every single holo in that pack art in the box, right? So what does that mean? That means people, and bad actors as well, they're probably going to be opening booster boxes. They're probably they're gonna open the first 4 pack arts, figure out which one has the holo, pull all the ones that have the holo, open those up, keep the other ones with reverse holo sealed. Now, in my opinion, I'm about it. Like I like the reverse holos, and people are gonna need the reverse holos for, their master sets. So personally, me, I am not affected. I get that people are saying, oh, it's not gonna be as fun of a rip, and that's true. Like the big appeal to Metazoo is that each box is true random, you know. And so the fact that this kind of seems like they went from true random to, hey, we're going to be guaranteeing at least 14 holos or whatever it is, or 9 holos per box. It kind of seems like they may be going that way. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe true random is here to stay. But if they are going that route, then they absolutely have to fix the mapping issue of knowing which booster pack has the holo. Like, I feel like this wouldn't even be as big of an issue if people didn't know where the holo was going to come from. People would have probably complained that some boxes were not really true random anymore, sure. But I think the biggest issue comes from the fact that people can easily tell, yep, it comes in this, super sweet moth butterfly pack. I think it's like Maginot. I don't know how to pronounce it. But it comes in these. I'm just going to pull all those packs out and have all my holos. And I wouldn't doubt that people are going to their LGSs right now and requesting, for a full art set, opening all 4, figuring out which one has a holo, and then asking the clerks, saying, hey, I want all of the pack arts from this. And I'm sure LGSs know by now, so I wonder what they're going to be doing to counteract this. If that's going to be like they can't buy one of or they can't buy all of the same pack art because they know that it's mapped. But then what's stopping them from having their friends come and saying, I want that pack art? So that's kind of another issue there. But another big issue is the clumping, specifically the clumping of the Hateful Eight, as we are calling it now. It seems that a majority of people who have been, or not, I shouldn't say majority, scratch that. From what I've seen online, a lot of people that have been getting the Possessed Aura card have been receiving it in clumps. So I've seen people open 3 in a booster box. I've seen people open 5, 6, 7 in a booster box. The Possessed Auras are clumped. And also, Rudy from Alpha Investments, if you didn't watch his video, he also confirmed that that seems to be the case. That seems to be the case. And that also goes back to being able to map the cases themselves. And that's kind of why this whole thing has blown up. So that has to change. It does. And granted, again, this could have just been a simple oversight on the printer side. Obviously, I don't think Mike and team were like, oh yeah, map them. This is probably on the printer side. It may have been an oversight. It may have been an accident. And I'm sure they're hearing the criticism loud and clear. I will say I did hear reports of people getting banned from the Discord for asking about it. So if you guys are in the Discord, don't ask about it. It seems like they don't want that negativity or questions in that Discord regarding the clumping and the mapping of this product. Personally, I'm not one that likes to censor people. That's just me. I believe that people should have the right to voice their concerns, whether it's bad or not in your eyes. But this definitely has to be changed. We've seen clumping issues for over a year now. Very specifically, we have seen clumping issues with the promo items, which with the promo items, I've been kind of giving them a pass. I've been saying, okay, that's fine. They're making these individual packs. They're probably, when they're printed, there's only 20 of these cards in the set. I can understand how some of those cards come clumped or how it seems that there's a big clumping issue. But with a set that has 167 cards each set, and people that are, and the most valuable cards are being clumped together, it's a little wild, you know. So I mean, let's just if we do the math, what a possessed aura is selling for what, like 70, $80. If somebody opens a box and they got like 4, 5, 6 of them, like that's nutty. That is hella nuts. And then given the fact that the booster box and SKUs and everything were actually halved, you know, those cards are going to be worth a little bit more, in my opinion, than the cards that came before them, like Brilliant Aura and all that stuff. Brilliant Aura and the Neutrality Totality Aura, simply because there's less of those available. But the fact that they're being clumped in the boxes, in the booster boxes, that's kind of bad. That can be bad for a majority of people who were wanting to rip product and are now discouraged to do so because they know that one, you can map it, and two, you can get clumped. I mean, if you get a clumped possession, I'm sure nobody's gonna be complaining for that. It's the same thing like if you were to get a clumped Mothman, nobody complains for that. They're like, oh yeah, true random, but it's only because we hear more of the negativity than we do the positivity, and people are always going to complain about something like that. True random is true random. Hopefully they stick to it. I think that's awesome. That's a fun way. I've had booster boxes that had all hollows. I've had booster boxes that had all reverse hollows. That's just kind of the the hand that you're dealt. It's fun. It's exhilarating to know. Dang it! Obviously, once you know, hey, this box, like halfway through, I'm like, all I've gotten is reverse hollows. It is what it is. That's the gambler. That's the gambler in us, right? But of course, when we get a box, it's full hollow heavy. We get that adrenaline rush. We get that hit of dopamine when we crack those packs and we see another full hollow and another one. And then you get a full hollow and you get a full hollow. Everybody gets a full hollow. Everybody gets a full hollow and everybody's happy. So that it is what it is, guys. So I think, yes, this issue has to be corrected. I think it will be corrected. I think people are blowing it out of proportion. I think a lot of people really are just pitchforks and torches towards Metazoo, anything Metazoo does. And to be honest with you guys, it's being very successful. Granted, yes, the prices will probably continue to dip a little bit, but that's just the market that we're in, and there's going to be a pretty gnarly 2023 ahead of us as well. So if Metazoo can survive past 2025, we're good, man. We're good. So, but with that, I figured I'd show you guys something that I'm also extremely excited for, and it's something that they shared on their Discord. And this is just kind of to show you guys some of the quality and the artwork that has gone, or that has the quality of the artwork that Metazoo has been producing lately, especially with some of their promo sets. And not gonna lie, guys, like the art keeps getting better and better. And of course, if you guys are in the Discord, you probably already saw this. It's gonna be this one right here for the SCP mini set that's coming out. It's supposed to be coming out between Native and Seance. It's supposed to be, I'm assuming this might be a drop like, maybe early January or February or something. And then you got the big new set of Native coming out around springtime, right? But just look at that artwork, man. Like just look at that artwork. They have changed significant. Like, in my opinion, the artwork has gotten more crisp. It's gotten more it just looks so much better than some of the earlier art. And granted, the art was always really good, but some of this newer artwork that's been coming out has been phenomenal. And that's just some of the stuff that we have to look forward to. I can't even imagine how much, or not how much, but like how great the artwork for Yokai Island is gonna look, let alone the Seven Seas. Like, I cannot wait to see it. I know War is kind of like the big one that everybody's waiting for next year. I'm actually the most excited for the Japanese block. I'm excited for Yokai Island. There's so much potential, so many yokai and beasties and ghoulies that you can find in Japanese folklore. Like, honestly, I really hope they drop Yokai Island around Halloween time, because that would be the perfect time to release something like that. Yokai are creepy, guys, and during spooky season, it's going to be like gangbusters. So, that's all I got for you guys today. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I know I went on a ramble about, the clumping and all that. And again, the clumping and the mapping issue, they do have to get fixed. I don't see it hurting this long term. I feel like that's just going to be a short term thing for Seance. I don't think the Seance booster price or anything like that is going to go down, because there are booster boxes that are not clumped. There are booster boxes that have true random. There are booster boxes that only have reverse hollows and all that stuff. So, again, there's just a lot of noise out there. And again, it's usually from people who are upset. But I will say the mapping issue and the clumping issue, specifically with some of the higher end cards, is an issue that will likely be resolved in the next set going forward. I really hope to hear something from the team, or for them to address it. They may have already. I think they had a Metazoo hour. I haven't actually looked through it just because I'm really busy with work. But I would really like them to address it. That way we can kind of, hey, hopefully this gets fixed. In my opinion, and this is where I'll end the video. In my opinion, you are more likely to get people to back you and forgive you for something like clumping and mapping if you address it and are open with them, saying, hey, we apologize, there was an issue with our printers, going forward, these are the steps that we're going to take to make sure this doesn't happen. But instead, from what I've heard and what I've seen, people are getting banned. That's just not the way to go about it, in my opinion. But again, it is what it is. We'll see how it goes. And again, thank you guys for watching, and let me know what you guys think down below. Appreciate it.